Hello, friends. Just because you slave away at work and bring home lots of money doesn't mean that your married life will be carefree and happy. Your spouse could surprise you with something that turns your whole life upside down. It could also open your eyes. Now, I don't know if the story I'm about to tell you is true, but these kinds of stories are often based on real events. Some words from the hero of our story. Now I'm the second person on the bank's board of directors, but 10 years ago, I was still the deputy head of the department. I had to work a lot, especially before New Year, but salaries and bonuses towards the end of the year increased significantly. So my wife and I started off the New Year's celebrations in style. We went to the Swiss Alps. Wow, the air there! Everything was just fantastic. But after nights of tenderness and days of happiness, I just didn't want to go back to work. Interactions with my beloved Julia were again reduced mainly to nights and mornings. But our trip had accumulated some significant expenses, so it was necessary to actively replenish the monetary reserves. After a month, we had closed several foreign exchange deals and attracted a number of owners of large companies for investment. The boss was ecstatic. He was promised a promotion. "You will take my place," he told me. I decided that it was the right moment to ask for some time off. "Can I take a 2 or 3-day vacation? I'm going to rest. Otherwise, I'll only get to see my wife at night. I would like to see her during the day." He immediately signed a paper. "All right, we'll pay you 3 days of vacation." He handed my application back with his signature. I was happy. I won't even be losing money either. I was flying high on my way home. There were still 3 hours before my wife got home from work. I was looking forward to a delicious dinner that I would prepare for her as a surprise. Everything worked out. When the door opened, I was already in the entryway. I took off my wife's coat and boots. She was very surprised to see me at home. Being in a wonderful mood, I decided to joke. "I got laid off. Not bad, right? Your husband gets to have a little R&R with his lovely wife." She looked surprised, said nothing, and we went to eat dinner. In bed, she turned away and said that she was really tired. The next morning, she left after breakfast. I tried to tell her that I wanted to spend time with my wife, but she cut me off. "I've been promising my mother for a long time that I would come visit. I'll be late." She didn't come home until after midnight. She didn't eat anything, got angry because I hadn't cleaned the floors like she had asked, and went to bed on the couch in the living room. The next day, my favorite team was playing on TV. My wife had a day off and was sitting on the couch, buried in her phone. I sat down next to her and turned on the sound. Suddenly, Julia asked when I was going to look for a job. Distracted by the game, I answered, "Work? What for? I'm doing just fine now." She snapped back in response, "So you're planning to just mooch off of me?" It finally dawned on me that she had taken my laid-off joke seriously. I kissed the top of her head and told her that I had been joking, at which point she tore away and ran into the other room. That evening, one of my parents' neighbors called and asked if he could order a custom table for his kitchen. I had already made such furniture before. "Okay, I'll be your carpenter, but only on weekends," I said into the phone. My 3-day vacation passed unnoticed and not very comfortable. I went to work early while my wife was still asleep. I didn't wake her up. The boss told me that he had received the order for his promotion and had already sent the documents for me to the head office to be the new head of the department. I was very happy. My salary was going to be on a whole new level. I wanted to cheer up my wife too. I called several times, but the phone was unavailable. It's better this way, I decided. Now it will be an evening surprise. Then I bought a gorgeous bouquet of our favorite white roses, rare wine and candles, and thought about how to put together a romantic dinner. It was silent at home. For some reason, There was no laptop on the table. On the wall in the bedroom, my wife's favorite panel painting, and in the closet, not a single thing. Looking more closely, I realized that the painting by a new upstart artist, which we had bought for crazy money, was gone. By the way, there was no money left in the box where we kept our cash either. My mind was racing, so I decided to go to Julia's mother, especially since I was sure that my wife was there. Yes, I saw my wife, but not at all as I had expected. I tried calling multiple times and speaking into the intercom of the apartment, but no one answered. I decided to wait on the playground. That night, I heard a familiar laugh. My Julia and her first husband were walking to the entrance together with their arms around each other. I jumped out of the bushes like an enraged lion, although at that point, I already knew I looked more like a total jackass. Julia, what is he doing here? What are you doing here? It still hasn't dawned on you that I left home so I wouldn't have to see you again? But why? I married a banker, not a carpenter. And Sergey is making good money now. Even Sergey started fluttering his eyes at this point. I was terribly upset. I began to recall that she was always in her best moods on the days when she bought gold, fur coats, or a new car. My God, I've been living with the fraud for 3 years, I thought to myself, throwing the trappings of the failed romantic dinner into the trash can. After the divorce was made official, I decided once and for all that I would get into bank management, climb the corporate ladder, and work like a horse. After all, my time had been freed up, so it would be a pleasure. Now I've been all around the country and abroad. I have a lot that I have never even dreamed of before. I remarried, and my son is growing up. I saw my ex quite recently, actually. Seeing that I was getting out of a Lamborghini, she walked over and smiled. "Did you get a job as a personal driver? What a gorgeous car." "What are you talking about, Julia? Only drive my own car." "Where are they paying so well?" "In the same bank as before, only now I'm a co-owner. By the way, thank you, dear. If you hadn't left, I might still be sitting in that same department." "You're lying. You were fired then." "Not at all. I was given a 3-day vacation, and a paid one at that, and I made a bad joke about getting laid off. But now I'm thinking it was a good joke. But you didn't let me open my mouth when I tried to explain myself." "Congratulations," she managed to say, and walked to the end of the parking lot. A few moments later, my former spouse and her husband floated past me as they drove in their car. Every man hopes that his wife starts a family with him out of love, not out of strategy. But whether that's really the case is up for debate. It's worth noting that now is the time to address that situation. In any marriage, you should absolutely make sure that personal finances are divided. That's all, dear friends. If you like this video, give it a like, write comments, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.